Hey
Hey everyone.
Welcome to Rockhound Talk Live. My name is Amber Nicole. I am your host, and this is my co-host, Ben Korn. Welcome.
Hi everyone.
So this evening we will have Greig MeMiner. Greig is a Canadian prospector. He's been doing it for decades, and he's also a YouTuber. And he's here to share his journey as well as school us in some prospecting and learning more about Canadian minerals and just everything that he does. He is a great person to learn from. So I'm really excited to have him on the show. So, Ben, tell us, how have you been the last few weeks?
I have been so busy. It's been really crazy. As I mentioned before, I got a house, and so I'm trying to move everything in. So I'm in my new office podcast studio that is freshly painted, and
I see.
hopefully soon we'll have everything in there. I've already had hiccups trying to get monitors installed, and it's just one of those things. It's just always something. So, no,
Yeah.
I'm really excited about finally having an area that not only I can do podcasting, but then too, I've been putting some new, I guess, improvements in my basement that now I've got like a separate utility sink for rock cleaning and all these things that when you're living in a 2-bedroom apartment, you just don't have the capability to do these things. And so it's really nice now. I can actually like clean rocks in a way that's not in the kitchen sink.
Yes, I seen that you posted that. It looks really good. Was it hard to install?
No, so I got really lucky. If anyone's looking at doing something similar, my utility sink that was already installed with the house had a threaded faucet on it. And so what I did is I bought a second utility sink and I didn't set it up to anything. It's just a sink. And then what I've been doing is I've been putting a 5-gallon bucket on the bottom. And then they sell, it's usually for like those hose rollers. They sell like 10-foot sections of hose, and so I got lucky, and I can just attach a garden hose then to the utility sink that's already installed, and then run that a couple feet over to the separate sink that I bought. And so then I did some improvements with that. I've got like the sprayers you can get for the ends of garden hoses. I've got one of those on there with a bunch of different settings. So if I've got some softer crystals, I can do more of a light spray, or if I got something really tough, I can use like a jet. And then also, because I still want to be able to use the utility sink without having to screw and unscrew the hose, I bought one of those quick connects. So
yeah.
now I can just quick connect the hose on, do my thing, take it off, and then we don't have to do any unscrewing or screwing or anything. So it's really great. I also got a power washer for some of the really bigger and more stubborn things. So it's going to be really good, and I'm really excited to actually have the space that I can do some serious cleaning.
Yeah, I'm excited to see when you get it all together and you get all your rocks squared away. When you feel complete in your room, I'm excited to see it.
Yeah, it's going to be this weekend is the big, because it's we got the 4th of July coming up, so this is the U-Haul weekend, getting all the big stuff moved, and then I've got some stuff coming up. I'm going to try and sell some fluorescent minerals, so I'll be going through those this weekend and trying to get those categorized and priced and all that fun stuff. And then I think I got a whole bunch of copper minerals I still have to go through from Michigan. So it's the list beyond the house to do is slowly growing. But yeah, so how have you been?
Oh, I've been good. I had a birthday. I'm 42 now, I think. I always forget my birthday. Had a birthday over the last 2 weeks. So the kids and I went up to, up north for us because we're in Ohio, but we went to southern Michigan, which is an incredible place to explore and to enjoy the just everything in the area. I mean, you've got the sand dunes, you've got rocks. I mean, you've got trails galore. I mean, it's just gorgeous. And then nothing beats a Lake Michigan sunset. So we were up there, and then, just doing some exploring around here. So nothing major, just enjoying the outdoors. And I'm looking forward to rockhounding in July. So, I took a few weeks away from rocks. I mean, I still got tons to clean as well. I'm slowly but surely getting through them, but I'm already itching to get back out. And so you sent me a link earlier, a few days ago, about some news in geology world and rockhound, or I should say rockhounding, but in geology. So do you mind sharing that with us?
Yeah, I don't have the link up in front
Or
of
I
me
mean,
right
just
now.
like some information on it.
Yeah, I can go over some of what I remembered. You guys can probably notice right now I'm actually calling from my phone. My computer is just now starting up. Of course, I tried to log on early, and my computer decided that it was a good time to lock itself, install updates, and restart. So I'm sure we've all been there. But yeah, so there is, if anyone hasn't been in near Buffalo, New York, is the Penn-Dixie fossil site that you can go and look for a lot of like trilobites and different fossils. And there was, I think they might have been like someone associated with the university, but they were there looking at some of the fossils in, the areas that you can look, and they ended up finding a new species that hadn't been discovered before. And they not only found one fossil, but they found two of that species.
Yeah, that's incredible. Just that. I mean, now, was it just a regular everyday person that was like, what is this? And then, or was it like, a scientist or?
Yeah, it was someone that they had known.
Okay.
They I don't know if they were like a student. I'll have to look at the article here. But I think they were in the public area, and they saw something, and they said, this looks like something else. This doesn't quite look right. And there's a lot of people. It's sort of like with a lot of different rocks too. The paleo people, they know a lot of the fossils and kind of what to look for. And so they just looked at it, and then they went through the whole, talking to some of the people that were in charge of the park, and trying to go through and share, what they found. And it came out that they had found this, species that basically had never been found before, or at least hadn't been found in that age. Yeah, and it was, just this crazy, something that, people kind of want to, you kind of want to hear about, just making this discovery on just a public, area. I can find here, let me see here. It's a 382 million year old carpoid. It's a small invertebrate that lived in the ocean. They're extinct echinoderms, which is related then to like starfish, sea urchins, sea lilies, and sea dollars.
It just blows my mind that we're still, I mean, I guess it definitely seems like we obviously haven't discovered everything, but it just blows my mind that, all of us rockhounds and, fossil collectors and just like any of us any day could find something that's never been discovered. And I just think that's so neat.
Yeah. It's, it's just one of those things.
You with us, Ben? Ben? Well, while Ben is having some technical issues, let's go ahead and bring on, you there? Okay. We're going to go ahead and bring on Greg to the show. We've got some technical issues here. So, Greg, welcome.
Thank you
How are
very
you?
much.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for joining us. We were speaking on Sunday, and you were talking about, how hazy it was outside. And so now That's what we're experiencing down here in the States. Boy, it is like we walked out today and we're like, whoa, it's so foggy down here. And I was just thinking, wow, I was talking to Greg on Sunday and it was pretty foggy up there, but it looks more clear there now, like in
It
where
cleared
you're
off.
at. It came down to us. So
I think so. It was, oh boy, there was about 2 days there. You couldn't see more than 100 yards.
yeah.
Maybe 150 yards.
Yeah.
It was that bad.
Yeah. And I'm like looking at your background now. I'm like, it looks a lot more clear, which is probably why down here it's looking so bad. It's gotten a little bit better throughout the end of the day, but boy, this morning it was, a lot worse. So, well, anyways, welcome. And before we get started, we wanted to announce for anyone who didn't know that we will be doing, Greg will be doing a silver giveaway at the end of the show. So if viewers that are watching right now, if you would like to pick a number 1 through 500, go ahead and put that down in the comments. And at the end of the show, we will do a number generator, and whoever is, what do you want to do, Greg? Whoever's closest to the number and doesn't go over?
No, they got to hit the number.
Are you serious? Okay.
Yeah, sure. So they can keep plugging away with numbers in the comments.
Okay.
And it's a lot of fun when that happens.
Okay, so they can pick as many numbers as they want.
Yep.
And they have to get the exact number.
Yep.
1 through 500. Is that it? Or yep. So, and the number generator will pick the number for us. So there you go. So you can pick as many as you want. Go ahead and put them in the comments. And I guess it kind of depends on how many we have, whether we'll tell you won before the end of the show or if we need some time to go through them. So, all right, let's get started.
Right. And then the other bit of administrative.
Yes.
Whoever wins needs to send me an email with their address, so I know where to send it. Okay.
And you want them just to reach out to you on Facebook?
Facebook is fine if they're on Facebook. Otherwise, email, which is meminerrocks@gmail.com.
There you go.
Yeah.
Perfect. So, Greg, tell us how you got started rockhounding, prospecting. When does your journey begin in this hobby?
Oh boy, my journey originally started when I was in my mid-20s. I took a ski trip to Vail, Colorado, and it was a 2-week ski trip. I got tired, so did a day trip and ended up in Leadville, which is a placer town. So for placer gold.
Mm-hmm.
And they had fabulous bookstores and places you can buy tools. So I bought a bunch of things, including books and magazines, because I had no idea you could actually find gold. I thought that was years ago, can't do it. From there, I had gold fever. And I ended up acquiring claims in British Columbia in the Caribou on one of the historic creeks. Four of my cells, 2 different claims were on Antler, which was one of the discovery creeks right in the Caribou. And I'd go out a couple times a year, sometimes more, and prospect, get a little bit of gold, and that never really left me. But what I also noticed was in my pan or my sluice box, I would have rocks that I couldn't identify. And I wondered, actually, so I originally got into it thinking, I wonder if there's associations between the different kinds of rocks you can find and whether or not that's a good place for gold.
Right.
And yeah, maybe that's more of a hard rock statement. The in the streams and the mountainsides, the gold that's placer, so that floats freely, is where heavies drop out. And it takes water to move it. I guess in other places, wind and other things can have an effect. But where I was prospecting, it was water.
Okay.
And then I got really interested in some of the rocks I was seeing because they were really nice looking.
Yeah.
So the quartz, the petrified wood all kinds of things were in the stream. Oh, plus garnets. There was tons of garnets and little cubic not zircons, pyrites. So that got me interested. And coming back to Ontario, it's difficult to find placer gold here. There's a few creeks you can find colors, but to find nuggets is near impossible. So I started just expanding out and seeing what else there was to find, and I got really interested in crystals. So I like a beautifully formed crystal or a cluster with crystals in it.
Oh, yes.
And it's been a lot of years. I still own one claim just south of the Yukon in British Columbia and in a place called Atlin.
Okay.
And that is known, actually, that claim is on a river that's known for crystalline gold.
Oh,
The few. Yeah.
Nice. So do you go out there often, or?
The last little bit's been once a year.
Okay.
It's a long, for me to drive there. I was actually going to drive there this year, but it's a 72-hour drive one way.
Oh, wow.
And then I thought, nah, I don't think so.
Yeah.
But even why is it takes all day to go and all day to come home. So yeah.
Yeah.
You got to really like it.
Yeah. So, I don't know much about claims in Canada. Is that a fairly easy process?
Well, each province is different. And the only place I've actually staked claims was British Columbia. When I originally did it, you had to do it physically. So you went out and you put a post in, put your tag on it, and you said how many meters, a compass direction, you were claiming. And you could go maximum 1 kilometer or 1,000 meters, and then 500 meters. What I would do is from that, and then you put another claim post in. I would actually do both posts and then claim 500 meters one way, 500 meters the other way. So I'd get a square kilometer. So a big chunk of land. Now you do it online, so it's a lot easier, but they're smaller as well.
Are you on one of your claims right now then?
No, I'm actually in Cobalt, Ontario, which is...
you're in Cobalt. Oh, nice.
I'm in Cobalt.
Nice.
And in behind me here, I don't know how good the light is, but that is an old mill. Maybe I can show it. Let me just...
It's definitely much more clear than you showed us on Sunday.
Oh, absolutely. See that?
Yeah.
It's an old abandoned mill. Almost looks like a old Scottish castle.
Yeah, it really does.
Yeah. And in behind that is a shaft. There's a mine back there, but I'm surrounded by mines here. Over 30 major mines, and then a whole bunch of smaller ones, plus exploratory. And they're still exploring here. Just one sample. There's what silver looks like.
That is so cool. Oh my gosh.
Isn't that cool?
Yes, it is. That's incredible. That's incredible.
And if I dip it in water, it's even better. Let me just... Well, actually,
wow.
On my picture, on my screen, it doesn't look great, but...
Oh, no, yeah, I see that. Oh.
Yeah, and you have to understand, like, it's... Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
It's starting to get dark here.
Wow, that's incredible.
So, just... Like, one of the tools I use is where we go? There we go. It's a pinpointer.
Mm-hmm.
This is all metal. It'll make a sound on anything that's metallic, but here's what it does on silver. Look, whoops, there we go. I can be, what's that, 6 inches away? And it picks it up. Wow. And with a regular metal detector, a big piece of silver like that just makes it scream.
Nice.
Yeah, isn't that cool?
It is cool.
Yeah,
it is really cool.
And that piece right there would weigh about a pound. Wow. And so some people ask, what's the value? So I don't sell, but my buddy up here does. And he was saying if somebody offered him $1 US per gram plus shipping, they could have it.
$1 for that?
$1 US per gram.
Per gram. Sorry. I'm like, what?
Yeah. So in Troy ounces, that would be 32 grams per ounce. Troy. So it adds up quick. There's some
Yeah,
value
it
there.
does. Yeah,
There's
yeah,
some
yeah.
value there. And the thing to remember too is you can't normally find silver of this quality
No, Cobalt's
anywhere in the world.
incredible. Yeah, I know.
Well,
Yeah.
I think what they say is you can in some places like Nevada and some others. There were some places in Europe as well, but not this quality in an area of this size. Like it's fairly large, like 30 kilometers long and 10 wide or something like that. Just stuff with mines.
So related to that, then, how do you figure out where you're going to go to collect and maybe even prospect? Are you looking then at like old, bulletins that were written by like the geological surveys, or are you just going out in the woods and seeing what you can see for yourself? Like, how do you sort of do your research?
Well, both. I've been to this area so often, and I also have friends that live in the area, so we exchange information. The main mines are known and it's reported. The Canadian Geological Survey has information. Mindat is a pretty good source. There's actually a number of mines here on a tour that you can actually get the leaflet and it'll take you through a number of mines. This one I'm at right now is site number 3, but I think it goes to site 18. I saw
Nice.
Ty's online. He probably would correct me. But there's a number of sites that are actually have a sign up front, and some even have a description as to what was there, what was found. The area was known for high grade silver of 4,000 ounces to the ton of material, which is amazing. And I just read a sign a couple of days ago from a place called Silver Sidewalk. And Silver Sidewalk, so named because it was 3 feet wide in a solid vein. And that
Holy
was,
crap.
I think it said 14,000 ounces to the ton.
Wow,
I'm sorry.
that's incredible.
Wait a sec. Yeah, 14,000 ounces to the ton. So
Wow.
incredible area.
And it looks like Ty has joined us. Welcome, Ty. Thank you for joining us tonight. That's incredible. Like, and just, I know that I've spoken with, for anyone who doesn't know, Ty Olson also, he lives in Cobalt, Ontario. He was a guest on last season. And he also is a prospector up there who collects silver as well. So some people who may not know, so can anybody, let's say someone wants to travel up there and they want to, collect at any of these mines, do you need to seek permission, or is it just kind of like, at your own risk kind of thing?
Well, you can't say MeMiner sent you. I was on YouTube or a live stream, and MeMiner said it's all wide open. It's so I'd put it into a couple of categories.
Okay.
I think if you ask permission, they may have to say no.
Okay.
Just for liability reasons.
Uh-huh.
I have bumped into a number of the operators or people that worked for the mines, and they would say, just don't make a mess. Don't go behind the fences. So some areas are fenced, and behind the fences are holes that are really dangerous. So, stay out from the fenced areas. Don't make a mess. Don't leave garbage. And don't tell anybody they said that. A pseudo permission. There are some sites up here that are signed no trespassing. I respect that. So that's the way I deal with it.
But it sounds like there's enough area up there that you can find stuff that you don't necessarily need to, go behind.
Well, it's all under claim or lease or ownership. So somebody owns everything. It's just some of these areas are some very big mining companies, and Nico Eagle's one of them, which is you can buy stock in it. Actually, I own stock in it. So it's, and I would think the other thing to say is the rules can change on a dime. I would suspect if silver hit $200 US an ounce, probably there'd be security guards here.
What's it at right now, currently? Do you know?
Last time I looked, it was like about $25 an ounce.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Good to know.
And I bought some year, whatever ago, rounds, and back when it was like 32 an ounce. So it's down a bit, but it's recovering slowly.
It looks
Well,
like
just like gold.
looks
Just
like
like gold.
as of today, it says it's $23.
So it's down again. That's not good.
Yeah. So, so you talked a little bit about some silver and your gold claim. Do you ever? What about more like Southern Ontario? Do you do any prospecting down there?
Yeah. So I think they call it the crystal capital. No, the mineral capital of Ontario.
Ooh, where is this?
Yeah, it's centered on Bancroft.
Oh, Bancroft, yes.
Yeah, well, you've heard of Bancroft.
Yeah, of course. Yes.
Yeah. And basically 50-kilometer circle around there, you can find almost every known mineral to man within that circle.
Oh, it's incredible.
And at one point, right now it's just it's smaller hills, small until you try to walk up one, but it's almost like a foothill. They're not that big. They used to be mountains higher than the Himalayas.
Wow.
Which is why so all this stuff was created underground, was eroded, and
that's that's the shield that you're speaking of, correct? Or
it's part of the shield, yeah. And so I was there 3 weeks ago. Went to one site by Eganville called the Smart Mine, and got some really good apatite crystals, titanite, hornblende, which is I don't really like. I call it a potato.
Yeah.
It's just kind of black and not lustrous. But there's a lot. There's other things you can find there. I haven't, but there's zircon and some really big ones and nice ones. I've seen some that people collected. It's great. It's just you dig the hole and you find what you find.
Yeah.
And then for people going, I have 2 bits of caution. The first one is look out for poison ivy. I don't know why, but this year poison ivy is popping up in places I've never seen it before. And the big one now in Ontario, especially Southern Ontario, is ticks.
Oh, yes. I saw you had a nasty tick bite recently.
From the Smart Mine, I had 3, and they're completely embedded in my skin.
Wow.
Yeah. So, look out for ticks. Sprays work pretty good. Making sure your pants are tucked in your socks, which I didn't do. There's some things you can do to avoid them. Actually, the Americans have a really good product. We can't buy it here, but you spray your clothes down with it. And anybody going to the States should pick some up.
Like DEET, you mean?
Well, no, it's better than DEET.
It's the permectrin.
Oh, permectrin. Yeah.
What?
We use that in the hospital. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's the one. And so what I had to do was actually cut out a bit early because I didn't know how long those ticks were in me. And on the way home, I hit a pharmacy and I bought, for the Lyme disease, 2 pills that you take all at once. And it's like a antibiotic of some sort. It apparently helps you avoid the Lyme disease. But that's my second time this year having ticks. So,
dang, yeah.
And my dog's got them too. So it's just
boy.
terrible.
Yeah. So definitely be
a
careful.
word of caution.
Yeah, for
You know
sure.
what it was? We had such a mild winter last year that the ticks survived.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
So I was going back on some of your older videos and things, and it looked like back it was May, I want to say it was like 2021 or 2022. You had a pretty serious accident. Could you share kind of the story about what happened and sort of how you've come back from that?
Sure. I actually left my house with my dog, take her for a walk. And I was early to go and get my injection for COVID. It was towards the start of COVID when they first had the shots. So I'm early, and I thought, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to plant some apple trees. So I'm out there planting apple trees, and I look up, and there's this pine that's, I don't know, 45, 60 feet high. And I thought, it has to come down because it's going to shade my trees. So I got a chainsaw out, and I started cutting the tree down, but it wasn't dropping. So I started to walk away, but I looked for my dog, and and she was laying down far enough away, there's no problem. At that point, the tree came down and hit me. So I woke up under the tree. I had a concussion.
Oh my
Didn't
goodness.
look at that till later. When you get hit on the head, what they're really worried about is the arteries or veins, the back of your neck, might swell, and then it could be fatal. I broke my back in 2 places. Actually, broke it. I compressed my back in 2 places. I broke ribs. I had a collapsed lung, and my leg snapped. The only thing holding my leg on was my hunting boots, the tendons, and the skin. So
Wow.
I wake up under this tree, and I thought, I've been winded. Maybe I'll be okay in a few minutes. I'll just lay here and catch my breath. And then when I realized I wasn't catching my breath, I thought, I don't have my cell phone with me. It's back in my truck. Maybe I'll just snuggle up with my dog. So I call her over, and of course she wants to snuggle up. So she's a lab, but she was soaking wet because she'd been in the pond that's there. So that wasn't going to work. It was in mid-April, so the ground is almost still frozen. So I was getting cold. So I had to actually crawl from there back to the truck. The accident probably happened about 5:30 at night. My daughter was phoning me at 10:30, and I just got into the truck, so I was able to open the door. I don't know how I reached up and got it, but I did. I got the truck's door open. I reached up on the seat because I could see the phone glowing, and she said, "Dad, is something wrong?" I said, "Yeah."
Oh my goodness.
So I had to explain to her where I was, but it was a spot that I used to take her to go skeet shooting. So I said, I'm parked where we skeet shoot, and you got to come out and get me, but you can't get in there. It's all 4-wheel drive. So get the neighbor who's got a Jeep and have him come in, and we'll take care of this thing. But I knew my leg was broke. I knew I still had trouble catching my breath, but I didn't realize how bad my back was, and the other things that are wrong.
What a
Anyway,
miracle.
so the neighbor came in, took one look at me, threw a tarp over me, and said, "Nobody touch him."
Yeah.
And phoned 911, which is our emergency services. So there were 3 fire trucks, an ambulance, and an air helicopter. The helicopter wouldn't land in the field next to us because it's at night. By that point, it's like 2 a.m. And so they loaded me in a stretcher and humped me out. They just walked me out about a kilometer, put me on the ambulance, took me to the local hospital, which had a helipad, landed the helicopter, and flew me to Toronto. I spent 3 weeks in the trauma ward.
Oh my
Wow.
goodness.
Yeah, it was.
What a blessing that you are able to do what you love today. Jeez.
Yeah,
Wow.
I was really worried that my legs weren't going to work, which was my biggest concern.
And this happened
So-
like during COVID?
Yeah, it was 2
Oh.
years ago in April.
Wow.
And apparently it takes a couple years for bones to completely
Heal.
And my leg has a couple of plates, and I think it's 13 pins, but some of them are kind of long. So it's quite the experience, but now I carry my cell phone with me.
Yeah.
And I mean, you seem to be doing well physically, being able to get around. So that's such a blessing. Wow.
Yeah, it sometimes hurts, but it's tolerable. It's really nice after being bending over, picking rocks or crystals or using a sledgehammer, whatever I'm doing, to actually lean against something and hear my back crack, pop up, and then, oh, that feels good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you don't have to worry about the plates setting off any of your metal detectors or anything then?
Well, that
No?
doesn't work. There we go.
Oh.
Is it titanium?
Titanium.
Yeah.
And actually, I asked the surgeon whether or not he'd be willing to take him out. And he said no. He said not unless they protrude in your skin, or it's causing you undue pain.
Yeah.
I can't claim that, so they stay in.
Yeah.
Yeah. But on my other metal detector, it really sounds off. Wait a sec.
So sometimes you got to be like, let me get this away from my leg for a second to make sure.
Oh yeah. It's like wearing steel-toe boots.
Yeah. So you're like, you got to make sure.
And you forget that
You're like, oh shit, I found something. No, it's just my leg.
Yeah. No, it's just turning on. There we go.
That's funny.
That's annoying as heck.
So you said crystals are your favorite.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so do you have a specific crystal that's your favorite that you? Okay, so I have two questions here. Do you have a favorite crystal that you've not collected, and then a favorite crystal that you have collected?
Collecting in Ontario, I like the tentanites. So they're a black lustrous crystal that's wedge shaped. If you get a big enough one, it looks like a tomahawk.
Ooh.
And they're cool. They're nice. What I haven't collected, I've been given, but I've never actually found amethyst. So I'd actually like to go to Thunder Bay.
Thunder Bay, yeah, me too.
The amethyst capital.
Yep.
And get some really nice clusters.
Yes. Same.
Well, if you want, we actually have a trip going up there July 8th. You can become a member of the Minnesota Mineral Club. We actually just had a couple spots open up, and we've got someone with a mine up there that you could go.
Is it Jordan?
Jordan's, yeah, his Jordan's mine, the Blue Points.
Right.
Okay. We used to go there a lot with Lyndon when he owned it.
Right. Okay.
So this will be our first time going up there with Jordan at the helm.
Yeah, good guy, really good guy.
Nice.
So July 8th, eh? I could make that.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's a bit of a hike. It's about a 14 or 16 hour drive for me.
oh God!
But
now you're
all
like
along
sitting here
the
making
way-
me want to go.
Yeah, all along the way, there's going to be places I want to stop.
Yeah.
There's nothing but mines between. Well, especially once you hit the lakehead and go along, there's copper, there's agate, there's fluorescence, there's just. I probably need a week just to get there.
I know, like it's like, how could you, like, living in Ontario is just like this like mineral paradise. It's just incredible. Like, just so
It is.
I get so jealous about all the finds you guys have, and maybe you have to travel a couple hours or something, but it's like, oh, I wish it's like an 8-hour drive for me. So
That's not.
no, it's not bad. No, it's not. No,
It's
no,
not too
it's
bad.
not. It's really not. It's really not.
Yeah,
But it's definitely. Anyone asks me like where to collect, I'm like, if you get a chance to go up to Ontario, you definitely want to. It's just such an experience. So for
Yeah.
sure.
In Quebec,
Oh yes,
I
absolutely.
haven't done a lot. I've actually gone gold prospecting in Quebec,
Oh okay.
which now probably isn't allowed, but this goes back a lot of years. I actually found platinum there as well,
Oh wow.
so that was cool. But yeah, a lot of the areas, Quebec has different rules than Ontario, so you got to be a bit careful. You want to see another rock?
Yeah, I do. Let's see.
This one, a buddy of mine collected, and it looks like nothing from the outside, right? There's the other side of it. It just, if you saw this in the forest, you'd give it a kick. Now, boom. Wait. Let me do one. Let me do one at a time. Wait a sec. There we go.
Wow.
And
wow.
this is low light. See down there? Right there?
Uh-huh.
That's a silver coming out of the main vein. And
Oh, that's so cool.
I would call that lightning. So this is
Yeah.
a big cloud and then lightning.
Lightning. Yeah, that's cool.
Let me wet it up.
And do
There
you
we
find those then?
There we go.
And do you find those using the metal detector? Is that how you can tell that there's the silver in there?
You can eyeball them sometimes, but metal detector makes it a lot easier. Well, for one thing, you can find stuff that on a big rock that's 2 feet down or 3 feet down. Yeah, here's the other side of that one.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And where did you find that?
One of the mines in Cobalt.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah. We'll do. Oh, here's a nice one. Again, the outside, you would see the calcite, so you might
Mhm.
even pick that up.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're in these mines, what we found is some of the better places to collect. It's not just a bunch of gray rock. There's some white, which is the calcite, maybe a bit pinkish, which might be dolomite,
Mm-hmm.
and then really pink, which is the stain of the cobalt, the oxidation of it,
Mm-hmm.
and then the green stain, which is nickeline or nickel.
Mm-hmm.
In those areas, like that means it's highly mineralized. They're probably at the level of the mine, because we're into like waste rock where they had the ore carts and dumped them. There'll be really hot spots and places with nothing. But if you beam on the spots with all those colors, you're going to find silver.
All right. That's good. That's good.
Yeah, so we showed you that, right? That side. Let me just dip it.
Oh
Ah.
wow.
Isn't that awesome? That's actually from a buddy of mine as well up here. So
Yeah, it's so shiny.
yeah, and that's just rough cut. If you polished it, the whole side would just look like chrome.
Oh, that's
Wow.
awesome.
But you would lose the dendritics, where they kind of look like moss and
Yeah.
each other, which is a bit of a shame. But I actually was told on this trip that if you just take it from this stage and put it on, say, 14,000, I would normally go and do 800 and like as a grit, 800, 1,200, 2,000, and then 3,000, maybe up to 14,000. It's take it right to your top and just polish it.
Oh,
And that will, what he said is that should keep the dendritics.
some of the dendrites. Okay.
Yeah. I don't know if it smears or what happens, but you lose some of that. It still makes a nice cabicon, but
Yeah.
it's a shame.
Yeah.
So with all your material, then is that what you do? Do you do a lot of like cabochons, or I guess like what do you do with all this material after you get it?
Well, I don't sell, so I do give some away. I do use it for trading. And I do have a flat lap and a slant lap for making my own cabochons. So I've been getting into that a little bit. I'm no expert in making anything, but it does make a nice gift.
Yeah,
who
for
would
sure.
like this stuff?
I know. I know you guys look for the silver up there, but I mean, if I came up there, I'd be happy too, just with the cobalt. Like, I think it's pretty.
Well, it is pretty. Well,
Yeah.
no, it's not. The cobalt bloom is pretty. So the pink oxidation that's on there, but that's just oxidation.
Yeah.
So you got to be a bit. If you cut it, it's more of a gray. Now
Okay.
it's interesting in the rock sometimes because it looks almost bubbly.
Mhm.
That's the way it seems to crystallize. But it's more of a dull gray. It does polish though. So some of the people out there selling silver, if they're the wrong person, they're calling everything silver, and it's not.
And it might
It's
be.
nickel and cobalt, and maybe some silver in there, but it's
Gotcha.
been polished. And for the layman, it's really hard to tell.
Yeah.
And it's a shame someone gets taken.
Yeah.
Do you have any advice then for people to be able to tell the differences between those if they're looking to buy some?
The best one is buy it from the right guy. If somebody actually truly wants to buy some silver, I can put them in touch with some people that will sell. Otherwise, if it's been rough cut and not polished, the silver shines. Like,
oh, okay.
This is it's almost getting dark now. And look at that, eh?
Yeah. So maybe an advice would be not to get it polished then.
Yeah,
So
not
that
polished.
so that you know the difference.
And besides that, you have fun polishing it yourself.
Yeah.
And you don't need You don't need a vibratory lap or
Yeah.
flat lap or anything like that. Automotive sandpaper, wet, and you just go up the grades and make little circles and back and forth, and it'll polish it beautifully. So
Nice.
there's a lot you can do with this stuff. Oh,
That-
what did I have here? I got something else that's cool that a lot of people probably haven't seen.
Yeah.
We have Ty is saying that cobalt is like a shiny gray and silver is like a mirror.
There you go. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
right.
That's good advice.
Whoops, I can't see myself. There, up. Yeah, there's a piece that was dissolved in muriatic, but maybe I can get it closer. So that's the silver that was sitting inside the calcite.
Oh wow.
Oh wow.
It was etched out, which is nice.
That is
yeah?
cool. That's really cool.
All right. Here is a somewhat large piece of leaf. Actually, let me dip it. Maybe it
Is
shows
that pure
up.
silver then? That whole piece?
Well, nothing is pure. Actually, you know what I read is if you can get wire silver, they've discovered that wire only forms at 97% silver.
Mm.
And they discovered that in electronics because little wires were forming on circuit boards. So at one point, there's a nice piece of leaf.
Then is that mostly silver then is what you're showing us?
Yeah. If it's shiny like that, it's typically mostly silver, but I don't know what percentage unless it got tested.
Mm-hmm.
There's a silver nugget that came out of the ground that way.
Wow.
Here's a nice piece. Here's a something else
Now-
that got etched.
Now,
but
can you
can
melt
actually
that
see the leaf
down?
on it. What's that?
Now, can that be like melted down?
Yeah, but why would you?
Well, I mean, if someone wanted to make jewelry out of it or whatever.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So I've actually had I do a lot of cutting of this and making slices,
Mm-hmm.
and I've panned the material from my saw
Mm-hmm.
and kept the heavies and had that processed for me, melted.
Mm-hmm.
And when you melt, it gets rid of some of the arsenides,
Mm-hmm.
so they burn off. And I got some silver bars that were like 3-pound silver bars out of it, which is pretty nice.
Oh, that's
Now,
really nice.
Yeah, some people would take something like that and melt it, but I wouldn't. I like them as a sample.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
gorgeous.
Oh, here's one last one right here. Here's kind of a cool one. It's waving at you.
Wow.
There's a
Oh,
piece of vein sticking out of the rock.
That's
Isn't
cool.
that sweet?
wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
So besides like a metal detector, is there anything else you use then as far as tools for finding these?
Don't leave home without it. It's a pinpointer. So when you get the signal, especially in deeper holes, you got to find out, exactly where the target's coming from, or you spend too much time digging.
Mm.
Here's something that's pretty good. These
Oh,
are
wow.
made locally. It's called a mudding pick. It's actually used
Woo,
in the mines.
that's
And
nice.
yeah, and they used to be cheaper, but this one I bought for a friend of mine back in Toronto. So, well, he had one and he broke it. Actually, he's on here. I just saw that. Anyway, hey bud, you're getting a new pick. They're now like $75 each, including the handle.
That's
And
nice.
they're a nice tool because you want to dig a small hole, you do
Yeah.
this. You
Yeah.
want to pull rocks out of the way, you do this.
I've
And
never seen that. That's
pull the
cool.
rocks out. Yeah. I had another YouTuber up, fairly well known guy, Bo, Aquachigger,
Mhm.
and he saw mine and he said, I absolutely have to have one. So he went into town and bought one for him. And you can still see
Nice.
him using in his videos.
And what do you
And-
call
and-
it?
I call it a mudding pick.
Mudding pick.
So
Okay.
it was used for mudding out the mines.
Okay.
Yeah, and they're made in Haileybury, the town, I don't know, 5 kilometers away.
Okay.
And I love them. They're good. What else do we use? Well, I use shovels, crowbars, there are other things just to be able to dig, what you want to do is dig fast and quick and get your sample out and then move on to the next target. And if you're not doing it quickly, you're not collecting enough silver.
What's the part about moving quickly? Just because of the locations that you're collecting?
Yeah, you've got limited time in the field,
Mm-hmm.
so make the most of it. And one of the things you want to be able to do is dig fast. I should see if there's something else I got for you here to look at. Well, we got the metal detector, crowbars.
While you're looking, we're going to look at see if there's some questions here.
Okay, do that.
Have you Ben noticed if there's any questions?
I've now seen a couple questions come through about the bugs. I know if you're like me, it's been a really dry summer, and all of a sudden we just got a bunch of rain the past week. So I've been dealing with some bugs. I know we were talking about ticks earlier. I was out looking for agates with a group from Michigan, and I came back and my fiance's like, "What's that on your neck?" And there's a tick.
Oh goodness.
So,
wow.
Yeah, they're definitely out. That's what I get for looking for agates and ditches.
Oh goodness. Yeah, I was just telling my kids last night. I was like, boy, we really haven't had much bugs this season. And then, like right when we turned down the lights, we were outside for about 10 minutes and I got eaten up just last night. So they're coming out.
Yeah. I'm looking online. I'm not seeing stuff show up for a mudding pick. I know we did have someone else mention to mudding pick. So that's definitely something to keep an eye out for. If anyone finds one, they're hot.
Right. Well, and that particular place will actually sell them with just the top, and you add your own handle to it, and that makes it cheaper, but also makes it easier to ship. I wouldn't want to have to ship that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here's something I just bought. I'm getting a lot of use of. It's just a wee shovel, but it cuts the roots.
Mm-hmm.
And it's solid enough and powerful enough that I can actually pry rocks out, I guess, like this, right?
Mm-hmm.
And not break it and bend it. I'm starting to really like this.
That looks nice. Yeah.
The other stuff you need at this time of year is bug spray. There's really nothing else you need, but I wouldn't leave home without something to dig with and something and the pinpointer, of course, plus the metal detector.
That's one thing I don't have in my, I haven't did any like metal kind of collecting. So that's next for me to purchase because I definitely would like to get started into that.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah,
so
I originally with the metal detector was using it more. I'd bought them to either find nuggets, but I ended up going for jewelry and finding jewelry in the water, especially where people swim.
Is there a brand that you recommend over others?
No.
Yeah, I
would say name brands are better than the ones that aren't name brands.
Okay.
And if you can't afford it, buying a detector that is used, but lightly used, is probably the way to go. And I'd say the same thing with rock tumblers. There's an awful lot of people that think they'd be interested in doing rock tumbling or metal detecting. They either get it as a gift or they bought it themselves, and it sits in the cupboard for like 3 years.
That's how my tumbler did. I just got it back out after 2 years. I was like, I'm going to relearn how to tumble.
Right. Well, and I don't know how many times I've seen tumblers that still had either some of the original grit that comes with, which is good for like 2 tumbles, or some of the rocks that came with, and you have to think, okay, that never got used.
Yeah.
So why would you pay full price, full retail, when you buy it used and they almost give it away?
Yeah. We did have a question come through. Mike was asking if metal detectors and pinpoints can detect things other than silver. I am going to say yes. I did go to Michigan and look for copper, and we were using metal detectors. And as Greg was saying too, I used probably the cheapest metal detector you can get. It was actually loaned to me from somebody else. If you're ever looking for metal detectors, you can actually rent them usually from hardware stores. They sell them for you can use them to find water shutoffs. And so hardware stores sometimes for, $50 a day will let you rent a metal detector. But it was probably a very, very cheap, very, very basic metal detector, and was looking for copper, and I found a bunch. As Greg was saying, though, too, I did spend a lot of time digging in holes, not knowing where it was. So the pinpoints are definitely something to come in clutch. So I'm not sure, besides silver, I'm guessing gold you can find as well with metal detectors.
Silver, gold, copper, zinc, bismuth. If it's metallic, you should be able to find it.
Okay, there we go.
And then the better metal detectors can discriminate or identify the difference between the various metals. So up here, the major ones are, I'll try to go in an order. Cobalt, bismuth, silver, nickeline. Actually, right at the start was galena as well. So galena has about the same characteristics of the metal detector as does cobalt or bismuth. They're all kind of close, and then a slightly higher tone or number on your screen will be silver, and then the top of that is nickeline. The problem is all these rocks have a bit of a combination of some of that, and so
you're not, you're not going to know until you.
If you get a good signal, dig it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what you do is, I'm looking at my screen. It's screwy. I'll just do this. If you go one direction and get a good tone, you do the X on it. Go the other direction. Yeah, that's wrong. My screen. I'll do it in the air. I do this way and then do this way. And if it's still a good signal, those two directions, then you probably have something worth digging up. Now, there's some banes of your existence. Up here, it's blasting caps, which are made of brass or aluminum, and they sound off pretty good. Rusted bottle caps, the iron dissolves out of it, and what's left behind sounds pretty good. And then on bigger rocks, because some of these rocks can be awfully large that people are finding, like over 100 pounds.
Oh, wow.
Your metal detector screams, well, so does tin. Like those big 50-gallon drums, or the stuff they put on roofs. So you end up digging this hole that's like 3 or 4 feet deep, and then you finally see the brown of the tin, and you go, "Oh man, I worked myself out." And you do a few of those holes, and your day is done. Yeah. So, but it's good fun, and I kind of think it's like hunting. If you say go moose hunting or elk hunting, you may have one chance in a week, and that's gold prospecting. But you go bird hunting, you hope to actually get 5 in a day. Well, you hope to get 5 good silvers in a day, and very few days go by that anybody out there that knows what they're doing gets skunked. Whereas with the gold, that's more the rule than the. It's just so much tougher to find.
Yeah.
So I did want to mention to anyone that was looking for those scoops that Greg was showing there, I was able to find it. If you want to go and search for it, I found it listed as a Grant Muck Scoop / Pelican Pick. So
Pelican
those
pick,
are Pelican Pick.
It totally looks like it too. Yeah.
And if you're in Canada, may as well get it from the source, and that's in Haileybury, which is a town next to Cobalt, and the company is called Time. I've got no affiliation. I've just bought a few, and most of my friends have one. Yeah.
It looks like Mike Pales had a question. Do you think that you could find iron pyrite with the metal detectors?
You can.
Which would be really good for fossils if it would pick up.
That's true. It's a very low signal, so you end up getting a lot of junk as well.
Okay.
So with my metal detector here, this one, which is a mine lab, I discriminate out, or it discriminates out for me, iron. So I'd
Oh,
have to
okay.
actually and it still picks up some iron, but a lot less than, say, on other detectors. It's you'd end up actually finding a lot of bottle caps and nails, and
So did you program it that way, or was it already made that way?
the program's in there, but
Okay.
you can fine tune the programming. Oh, I
Ooh,
guess that's what I should say.
that's
When
fancy.
when I detect, and most of the people I know detect, we go all metal with the detector. We don't make it discriminate.
Okay.
The reason being, if you actually put discrimination on your detector, you get less depth. So something that you may be able to pick up at a foot, you're now down to 4 inches.
Ah,
If you have any discrimination at all. So instead, if it has a screen on it, is you listen for the tones, and it's couple of directions, then you look at your screen, see what the number is. And it depends on the model and manufacturer of your detector as to whether or not you think you should dig that.
So
And
I noticed when I was looking for copper, some people would set it so they couldn't pick up iron, but we were finding a lot of different tools and things that the miners had used back in, the 1800s. Do you find then a lot of different tools that people had left behind from when the mines were operating?
yeah, especially old shovels, or broken shovels or rusted shovels. Uh, I've also, in the gold mining areas, I found old gold pans.
Oh,
that's cool.
Yeah, which is pretty neat. I
Yeah.
usually lean them against a tree because I didn't want them, but now I think I'd take them. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Do
little
have you
artifacts.
found anything? Have you found anything else that's been, not minerals that you were looking for that were pretty unique
Yeah,
or
I found
special?
coins. Some weren't all that old. A buddy found what was really neat. It was a large cent, so a penny, and it had a hole drilled in it, and it had a rose stamped on it. And he went, "Well, what is this?" And everybody said it was for a pegboard. So when you enter a mine, your number had to be placed on the pegboard saying, "Hey, you're underground, and when you come out, you got to move it." Somehow or another, the guy lost it. And why is the rose up here? The original mine, or the original discovery, was called the La Rose mine. So I suspect it was that mine. That's good history. We found what else is there? Sorry, grabbing stuff out of the air. Those are mosquitoes. uh, we have found parts, especially rather than whole, miners' lamps and the carbide lamps,
Oh, those are cool.
which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
There's still in the hills a lot of old ore carts. Or
Someone was asking about crucibles.
oh yeah, yeah. So when the miners wanted to test the silver, it was melted and poured into a crucible, so a stoneware or whatever. The ones that we're finding around here all seem to be stamped as made in England, and there is a really nice one that's about the size of a coffee cup, and they actually had colors of enamel across it. They're sweet to find. You can find them in almost any mine, but there is one spot that I think there was an old test shack that probably burned down, because when you find glass, it's all melted, so the bottles and stuff are melted. But and some of these, there'll be a stack of like 5 or 10 crucibles all kind of stuck together, which you can later pull apart. And it's just digging in the dirt. It's really a cool thing.
That's cool.
Yeah, yeah. I think I've got a video on it. If I don't, then Aqua Sugar does.
Let's see here.
So, any other questions?
Yeah, does anyone have any questions they'd like to ask Greg? Let's see
Wonder where I
here.
can put this to give me some light.
You need to train one of the dogs to hold it up for you.
Yeah. The dogs had a long day today, so they're sleepy. They're both laying under the truck.
What did you do? Were you out looking today for minerals, or?
I actually went and I went to a beach and tried metal detecting in the water where the sand was, because I figured it had never been detected, and I got 7 cents, a nickel and 2 pennies. Yeah, that was not the way I should have spent my day. And then I went to a different place that a friend showed me, and I got some rocks, but I don't think I got anything all that special. Let me just hold it over here. There we go. So I'm going to leave tomorrow morning. Maybe I'll do a bit of detecting before I go, and then I'll have to come back.
Are you headed off to a big adventure?
Yeah, apparently the kitchen sink is leaking.
Duty calls.
It does. So I'll go home and do some stuff down there, and then think about the next trip. I normally don't. I'm a really bad planner, so I don't know what I'm going to do 3 days from now ever.
No, I totally understand that. I mean, it's like I get tossed between planning and last minute, and like I'm in between both planner and last minute. So I completely understand that world. So
Yep.
Sometimes it makes it a little bit more fun.
Well, you plan for it, and then you look at the weather, and the weather's going to be terrible. And one of the worst things for being up here isn't the cold; it's the heat. If you're
Really?
amongst those brown black waste rocks, if it's 30 degrees Celsius outside, I bet you it's 45 in those rocks.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I've done a lot of work on the side of a road on top of asphalt in the summer, and I can guess it'd probably be about the same with the black just radiating the heat back at you.
Exactly right. Used to do it. Don't do that anymore. Now, what you can do is then go into the forest or something.
Yeah.
So at least you're a bit shaded.
Yeah.
And actually, just searching around the forest can be awfully interesting. For one thing, maybe you'll hit a spot that hasn't been detected. Although usually you're walking through and you think no one's ever been here before, and you see little divots where they dug. Yeah, but still, they got to put the coil over it. And if they're walking fast or trees are in the way or something, they would have missed stuff.
For sure.
Yeah.
For any viewers that came later after we announced in the beginning, we are doing a drawing for some silver that Greg will be giving away. So if you have not already, go ahead and pick a number, as many numbers as you want, actually, because you have to get the exact number 1 through 500 to win. So we're going to do that. We're going to be at least doing picking the number here. So if you haven't left a number yet, go ahead and please do. For anyone who hasn't.
And if you have any other last questions for Greg, please put those down in the chat too.
Yes, Mike. Greg did mention, yes, that he enjoys collecting in Bancroft. I think we all do.
Yeah.
Yes, he's actually, Greg mentioned that probably every known mineral can be found there, close to, correct?
It can. Not maybe not museum quality. How about
Right.
that?
Right.
But it's there. It's there.
Yeah. It's definitely a mineral playground.
Absolutely.
So if everyone we'll give a few minutes to go ahead and put more numbers in, and then we can go ahead and get the, since it is getting dark and Greg is getting black out there.
He's probably getting eaten alive by mosquitoes too. They're going to carry him off the screen here.
Yeah. Bugs don't really bother me, but except for ticks. I hate the ticks.
Yeah.
And actually, I'm not a big fan of deer flies and horse flies because they just hurt when they bite. But mosquitoes and black flies, unless I'm breathing in and they're coming in my mouth, I don't care.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
what is your favorite place where's your favorite place to hunt in the US?
In the U.S.,
Mm-hmm.
I haven't done a lot of prospecting, but I've been twice to Herkimer or near Herkimer.
Yeah, I seen you with Joe. Yeah.
Yeah. The crystals there, I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the next trip, if I get down there, will be Ohio to Flint Ridge.
All right. You'll have to give me a buzz. I'm only a few hours away.
Oh shoot, yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
I'm more
yeah.
like I'm probably 7 or 8 hours from there.
Yeah. So whenever you head this way, let me know, and I'll take you to Lake Erie, go get some fluorescent satellite and anything in my area. You let me know and I'll take you.
Cool.
Let's see here. All right. So I think I'm going to go ahead and pull up the number generator. It's been a while since I've done this, but I've got
I was going to say, if you want to, Amber, in case no one had picked that number, just send me the number in the private chat and I'll see if anyone's picked it.
Like before I do the number generator?
No, like do the number generator and then tell me the number and I'll see if anyone's picked it. Because we don't want to, if it was like 500 and no one picked it. Screen. Well, that's what I'm saying. We don't want to show it on the screen. So if no one picked it, then they can keep guessing. We want people to keep guessing if they don't get it.
Okay, so you don't want me to pull it up. Okay.
Don't show it yet. Just put it in the chat and I'll see. I'll search the comments here and see if anyone picked the right number. And then we'll show it to verify that we're not making anything up here.
Well, I think how about this? We just tell everyone to just stop doing numbers, right? And then that way we can just show the spin.
Okay. We can do that too.
Okay, because I was going to pull it up here. So let me present.
So get your numbers in 1 to 500.
Yep. And let's see. It's 9:50. What's the time is it? 9:58.
I'm going to see whether or not I can't put headlights on so I got a better light.
Okay. So 9:59. We'll give everybody one more minute. That way 9:59 and that's the end. So I've already have it ready to present. So
okay.
Can you see it? Did I do it right? No.
It'll show up when I change the layout. Do you want to? Okay.
Oh, okay. Okay. And then once I go there, can I spin it from there? Or no, I got to go here. What time is it? All right, 9:59. All right, so Tim Mason is the last number coming up through here. So it is 9:59. Oh, now okay. Now on there. 9:59. Tice Olson is the last one. 9:59 stamp 77. Last one. Here we go. Did it show up?
Is it 467? It looks like
it does.
I don't think anyone guessed 467. Do we want to spin it again or?
I'll leave that up to Greg. Oh, there's a 469. But yeah, 449, 499.
There was a 468.
Wow, that's pretty close.
Do you want to do the 468?
It's up to you, Greg.
Well, here's the problem. I think that we said it had to be bang on.
Okay.
And so to change it now, if you're off by 1 or off by 100, what does it matter? I think maybe spin again and see if somebody got it.
Okay, we'll do one more spin and it has to be exact. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. $174.
Nope, no one picked 174.
Okay, that's what it is. It was a nice try, everyone.
Yeah, but we have to give the sample away. So
Okay, so we're gonna keep going. Here we go.
okay,
Here we
keep
go.
going, keep going.
Okay, here we go. Here we go. And 496.
I don't even think anyone guessed that high. I don't see anything coming up for 496. There was a 499. I think that might have been the closest.
Okay, here we go.
All right.
56.
Nope, no 56 either.
282.
I'm not seeing a 282 either.
$497. Did we have a 497? I thought.
No, that was a 496 or 490. What was it? 498, I think, was the closest. Boy, I hope none of you bought a lottery ticket today. This isn't going very good.
254. Come on, 254.
Come on, 254.
Nope. No 254.
Okay, do one more, and then we'll do closest to.
492.
There was no 492. Let me see. If we go closest, let's see, 492. There was the 4. Let me just find it here. I'm scrolling through all the comments. There was a 499. 500. I think 499 was the closest.
Yeah, and
Hold on
if we
here.
look,
I'm just trying to go back through. I think there was a smaller one here. Let me find it. I just searched through all the comments now. 499. I think 499 might be the closest. Which one do we want to go with?
I'll leave.
You know
Greg,
what
it's
to do?
up to you.
Pick either side. Pick the closest guy to either side of the number, and I'll give two away.
Okay, well, we have Yvonne. Sebastian had 499.
All right, Yvonne is 499, and is that who the winner is?
Yes, and it looked like we were looking for one other. Let me see if I can pull up anything else.
Who's in the 400s? Close. 499 is also Christine McCarter. There we go.
Okay, so Yvonne and Christine.
Did you hear that, Greg? Oh, I think Greg's idled right now. So Yvonne and Christine, congratulations. You are the two winners. As soon as we get Greg back on, if not, we will let him know. I mean, this is recorded, so so we will remember who you are. Congratulations for winning some incredible silver. We will, shall we just conclude for tonight? I'm not sure if Greg's going to be able to make it back on with us. If not, who we got coming up? Ooh,
we have a it's okay. So normally we've been closing this out saying same time, same place.
Mhm.
we have a curveball for you all.
Yes.
We are actually going to be doing an episode on a Saturday. Saturday, July 15th at 5 o'clock Eastern. We are going to be having, I believe, our first overseas guests, not
Yes.
necessarily international, but Moha Mazani, who is a Moroccan fossil hunter and rockhound,
Yes.
is going to be our guest.
And Moha has had an incredible find. He actually found a new species of a shark. And I'm so excited to learn more about this. He has an incredible rockhound, self-taught paleontologist, and tour guide in Morocco. Definitely this year, but I'm definitely looking to meet Moha and go on one of his guides for sure. If you're not familiar with him, definitely look him up. Incredible guy and finds absolutely stunning specimens. So I'm really excited for this next episode. And that will be July 15th at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we'll see you guys then.
Yeah, and if anyone has been trying to find us on the podcast places, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Samsung Podcasts, any of those, just note that with all the moving and things, I have been a little bit late on uploading some of the audio. So hopefully after this weekend, after I move and before Moha's episode, I'm hoping to get the episodes published for you. So if you're just itching for something to listen to on your road trips this summer, just know that we're going to have our new episodes coming out fairly soon.
Yes, for sure. And we'll conclude for tonight. Thank you, everyone, for watching, and we'll see you July 15th. Peace out, everyone.
Bye, everyone.